I want to, however, read this statement which has just come out from the Prime Minister's office on the behalf of the National Cabinet, which is that Australia has one of the most rigorous testing. To further protect Australia, the National Cabinet has agreed that the Australian Health Principal Protection Committee's recommendation, so that's the doctors, to expand the current coronavirus testing criteria. So this will be for people with fever or acute respiratory infections in any of the following areas: all healthcare workers, all aged and residential care workers, geographically localised areas where there's an elevated risk of community transmission as defined by the local public health unit. Where no community transmission is occurring, high-risk settings where there are 2 or more plausibly linked cases, for example, aged and residential care, rural and remote indigenous communities, detention centres, correctional facilities, boarding schools and military bases, including military ships. The National Cabinet has also agreed that testing will be expanded to include hospitalised patients with fever and acute respiratory symptoms for unknown causes at the discretion of the treating clinician. Also need to know here too that the National Cabinet has endorsed the recommendation of the medical advice that states and territories suspend all non-urgent elective surgery. The National Cabinet has agreed to extend the deadline for the suppression of semi-urgent Category 2 and 3, and that will be from midnight on the 1st of April. Midnight on the 1st of April coming up. The Cabinet has also agreed that all states and territories will continue to work with private hospital groups to ensure that they can support the efforts of what is happening right now. The changes will allow greater transition for the community to the new arrangements. And finally, the National Cabinet has also agreed to nationally consistent public health directions at state and territory level of self-quarantine for individuals diagnosed with coronavirus. The next meeting of the National Cabinet, where we will again hear from the Prime Minister after that meeting, will happen on Friday.